Oh, yeah. Good morning. It is Patrick and the people, Chad, Sledge, and myself here this morning.
What is up?
We got other folks coming in today.
Yes.
We got a great comedian coming in from the Looney Bin, their headliner for the weekend. And he is so funny. You're going to really like this guy. He'll be here, I think, here in just a little bit, maybe about 7 o'clock. His name's Orlando Leba. And real funny guy. And then got some other guests coming in today. Should be a lot of fun. How's your week going, man?
Good. I'm killing y'all in that tournament, man.
Man, you are absolutely laying waste to us in that tournament. I've had my ass handed to me, man. I got Arkansas got me. I didn't think they'd get past Kansas.
I was kind of watching that one too.
Yeah. Who else? McNeese got
Yes,
me.
I think I got
Who? Come on, McNeese.
What's up, Clemson?
Yeah. No shit, man. Somebody's in trouble over there. I promise
I
you,
don't
man.
think a lot of brackets got busted on that one.
Man, that was a tough one right there. I thought I was big shit when I had Creighton and what was the other one I got? There was
Drake.
Drake.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you
had
got the Drake. That was a good one to pull off, man. I wish we would have bet on that one, man.
Yeah, I know,
Could've won
right?
some money on that.
But damn, man, nothing else is really. You got what do you got? 98%.
98.8, I think.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's got a little fire logo beside it.
You in it, man. You're in it right now. Man, if your team stay good, you could do something.
Solid
here.
right now. At the moment.
Yeah.
You know how it is, though. It could all flip today, though.
Well, it changes in a heartbeat. You know that, man. That shit goes. It'll just change on you. All right, let's get into some news that you can use here and see what's going on out in the world. The Pentagon planning to brief Elon Musk today on the U.S. military's plan for potential war with China, according to the New York Times. I don't know if that's right, but it says giving access to top military secrets would greatly expand his role as an advisor. Don't know. Trump denied that the session would be about military plans involving China. He said China won't even be mentioned or discussed. So probably it's just, the media doing what the
I was
media
going to say, I
does.
didn't know he was like a full-on.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think I think they just want him gone, and so they will say anything.
Yeah, I see them blowing up Teslas everywhere.
Yeah, no, I expect to see here any minute that they're going to say Elon Musk, kills children or something. You know what I mean?
All right.
Let's see. There was a bit of horseplay on I-10 in New Orleans. A horse trotting through traffic on the raised part of the highway early Wednesday.
Man.
Also wandered into the University Med Center parking garage where police were able to wrangle it in and locate the owner. Yeah.
He pictures a bunch of cops with like lassos trying to catch
a horse. It's probably funny as hell, actually. A Southwest Airlines flight had to abort takeoff in Orlando as an air traffic controller canceled the plane's takeoff clearance when the pilot mistakenly began to depart on a taxiway instead of a runway. Taxiways are used by pilots to move planes between runways and terminals. They said the plane stopped safely after being directed and returned to the gate. Nobody injured.
Trying to get me not to fly anywhere this year.
I know, right? Florida has a distinction it doesn't want. A new study says it's number one for the most stressful emergency room visits. Those rankings were compiled by an insurance company policy guide, covered factors ranging from cost, in which Florida ranked first, number of admissions and inpatient days per 1,000 residents, where Florida is one of 4 southeastern states in the top 10, along with Kentucky at 5, Tennessee at 7, Alabama in 10th. If you're looking for the least stressful ER, Wyoming. Yeah, nothing's happening in Wyoming.
Tennessee and that other one's where they make all that whiskey at. Kentucky.
In Wyoming, you can see a bear coming for about a mile.
Oh, man. Yeah. No.
Let's see here. 2 men are in Ontario jail because they decided to cause a disturbance in a drive-through. Police called to the scene. The men ended up with more serious charges. The first tip-off they were in trouble was the forged paper license plate. Then the cops found 23 grams of cocaine, 37 X pills, a firearm, some drug-related gear. Oh, by the way, they were both on probation.
That sounds like a fun night, man.
Yeah, no, it was a fun night until it wasn't.
Until they showed up, right?
Yeah, they messed it up. Are you a thrift shopper? Do you ever go to places like Goodwill or Salvation Army and hunt for bargains?
No, man, I always think that's for like people that need that kind of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't like the people that go
Well-
in there. It's got money and like buy like this retro stuff. No, man.
No, you'd be, and you know what? I bet a lot of people have that conception,
Right.
and I don't think that's.
They say they've changed, but I'm
Well,
still
here-
about the new Goodwill.
No, here's why that you go in there. Goodwill, every dollar you spend goes for those the career
them.
training programs.
Oh, okay.
Because those are free.
All right, that does
So
make
it
sense.
so it pays for that. So
All
that's
right,
why when
that makes me feel a little bit better.
yeah, that's why it's that way.
Okay.
Marissa Alcorn from Dayton, Ohio, she bought a painting for $2.99 at Goodwill, just auctioned it off for $2,875. It was found to be the work of someone named Johan Berthelsen. She said she and her fiance stopped at Goodwill after dinner. Were about to leave. She spotted a frame that was interesting, and said it was an awful painting, but bought it because it was only $2.99. Said she was loading it in the car when something caught her eye. It had a plaque at the bottom. Said out of curiosity, I typed in the name and found out it was Johann Berthelsen, apparently a famed impressionist that died in 1972 and sold work for thousands of dollars. So that's a good little return on investment.
It is, but something like that, I feel like they should have to give like 10% back to the
Yeah, I hear you
Goodwill.
on that.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Like
I hear you.
they cashed in off the Goodwill at the end of the day.
Yeah. A scheduled trip to renew your driver's license in South Florida is so highly sought after you'd assume Taylor Swift was performing. The Miami-Dade County Tax Collector's Office on Monday said it uncovered a network of scalpers who ordered free DMV appointments and resold them for $250.
That's awesome.
While the office has taken steps to stomp out the practice, going to the DMV is so torturous that drivers are willing to shell out $250 just to avoid sitting there all day.
I hate that place, man. I don't.
I might be willing. I don't know about $250,
I don't know about
but I'd probably
$250,
give a bill.
Yeah, I'm a 50 spot for sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, hell yeah, 50. If somebody would trade their high number with or low number with me for a 50 bone, yeah, I'll do that right now.
Yes.
President Trump signed an executive order directing the dismantling of the Department of Education, aiming to shift control to the states and local communities. The full abolition would require congressional approval, but this is a significant move reducing the federal role. The executive order instructs them to downsize, retain only essential functions like administering student loans and Pell Grants that will soon be shifted to other departments. 3 individuals charged with arson attacks targeting Teslas across the U.S. The Attorney General emphasized that these defendants will face the full force of the law for their actions, part of a broader series of attacks on Tesla. Yeah, people just acting stupid out there like
Blowing
Tesla's
them up
on
and
fire.
everything else, man.
Yeah, it's like you're not even hurting Elon.
No, the insurance is paying for all those things.
You're just hurting all the people driving them, you know.
They're getting them at the dealerships and
Oh,
stuff.
too, at the dealership? Yeah. Well, and again, you're hurting the local dealer
Right.
who makes his living there, as do the salespeople and the maintenance people and everybody on the staff that live in that community.
You know they're not taking it as a loss, so it's the insurance people taking
Oh,
it.
yeah. No, it is the insurance taking the loss, but it's still bullshit.
No, it is.
All right, let's see. A federal judge has criticized the Justice Department for providing an insufficient response regarding deportation flights of the gang members to El Salvador. He's mad about this. He says they violated the order, so they're going back and forth on this.
Man,
But
did you not see the people that they got? Have you seen any of the
yeah,
videos?
I saw 'em.
Like, they got a top leader of MS-13. Like, that's some big stuff, man. Like,
Well, it is.
Yeah, I'm glad they did that.
Minnesota State Senator Justin Eichhorn resigned
He's
yesterday.
mad.
I bet he
Big
is.
mad.
He's charged with soliciting a minor for prostitution. He's 40. He was arrested in a sting targeting individuals seeking to engage in sex with juveniles. He exchanged messages with an undercover officer posing as a 17-year-old girl, arranged a meeting where, guess what? Chris Hansen didn't walk
Right.
out, but the cops did.
Man, come on now.
You dumbass. What are you doing?
Come
man?
on.
And I saw yesterday that, and I know this is probably a controversial take just to say this, but you know Anthony Kiedis from Red Hot Chili Peppers, the lead singer?
Yeah, the little short dude.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
Flea, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
His new girlfriend's 19.
Man.
And I'm like, hold on, man. When you were 40, she wasn't born.
Right.
if you're an adult when someone's a baby, I don't believe you should be in a relationship with that.
I don't,
That's
but
kind
I'm
of
like,
pedo.
it is, but I'm like, you go, like, you see, who was it? The guy, Scarface, Al Pacino.
Yeah.
He had that.
No,
And,
I know.
the Patriots coach.
Yes, I am
Like,
too.
there's a couple of them right now doing it. I'm like,
Yeah.
y'all go,
No,
man.
no, y'all go. No, y'all go. No, leave those kids alone. Those girls are so young they don't even know who they are.
Man, they're just trying to get a paycheck, man.
And they are.
That's it.
They're getting that. Let's see. The Segway company recalled approximately 220,000 Segways due to a faulty loading mechanism that fails during use. They had 68 failures, 20 injuries that included broken bones and lacerations.
Man.
Those scooters sold at Best Buy, Costco, Walmart, Target, Sam's Club, and online at Amazon and Segway. They were priced between $600 and $1,000. Is it quit using them? Contact Segway for a free maintenance kit. I don't know anybody here who has one. I've never
No,
seen
but
one.
all them little scooters seem to be messing people up. Even like the ones in Little Rock and stuff.
Oh,
like
yeah?
that. Yeah, I don't know.
Like the Lime
Yeah,
scooters?
like having wrecks on them and stuff.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're reckless, you could do
I
that.
mean, what do they think when they put them downtown? There's alcohol and scooters. Like,
Yeah,
back
no.
when I was 21, like that would have been a fun day.
The only time I want to ride the scooters is when I'm drunk.
Right.
I shouldn't say drunk. When I'm drinking. And
When I'm a little inebriated.
Yeah, when I'm partying in the river market, it's fun to get your drink on and go ride them,
man.
But other than that, I don't do it, But I guess in these big cities, it makes sense. Surgeons at Northwestern Medicine successfully performed a liver splitting procedure for the first time. They split a donor liver to save 2 lives instead of 1. Kelly Podra has agreed to share her donor liver with 53-year-old Barclay Misson, who is suffering from cancer and might not have survived. So that's great. A tourist in northern Norway survived almost 7 hours buried under an avalanche. Authorities are calling it a miracle. Rescuers, including a dog handler, Christian Midgard, and his search dog Whiskey, located the man under 5 feet of snow. He said surviving that long in an avalanche extremely rare. 7
So was he in like
7 hours.
Was he in like a little pocket?
I guess. I mean, there must have been some air in it to make it 7 hours.
That's
but,
wild, man. You know it's cold as hell though.
Yeah. Come on in, Victor. What's going on, buddy? How you doing, man? Good to see you. How you been?
Good.
What's
Busy.
happening in your world, man?
Just running businesses, managing fighters.
Yeah.
Doing all the things.
So what's the latest on Carlos Nava?
Yeah, Carlos fought last Saturday. It was an absolute war. He won.
Oh, wow, that's
Was,
great.
it was a hell of a fight.
Hey, man, I wish I'd seen that. That's amazing,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Congratulations to Carlos on that.
So the fight's actually the promoter does a good job. The fight's on YouTube if you want to go check
Okay,
it out.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
So go look it up on YouTube. It was Carlos Nava versus who?
Tony Lopez.
Tony Lopez. So Lopez Nava, look up that fight and take a look. So I know that when y'all were here last time, if he had won this one, which clearly he did, you were saying, hey, we want to get him in a title hunt this time. The next fight, we want a shot.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're looking to put a fight together in the next 2 to 3 months against a top 25 opponent at 130 pounds, and then after that goes well. He wins, of course. Then hopefully the next stop at the end of this year is
Would be a title
shot.
fight.
So,
That'd be awesome, man.
Yeah.
How cool would that be?
Yeah.
I bet he's stoked about this.
He is. He's really excited. He's also, frankly, he's really excited because we're fully moving fight camp here. So
Oh, wow.
he is a Little Rock based fighter. He's training here. We've got a lot of kind of a groundswell of a lot of local businesses,
Yeah.
local people supporting him. And
Yeah, we certainly want to. I know
Absolutely.
that. Yeah, so I know everybody out here wants to support him. I don't know if you saw him, but he was on the show.
Yep.
Really humble guy, super nice guy. What I like about him, he's got a lot of work ethic and a lot of humility about him.
Yep. I'm gonna tease him a little bit because I know he's gonna see this.
Okay.
When he was here last on your show.
Yes.
He talked about not getting hit, and in the first round of that fight, He came out, and credit to Lopez. Lopez caught him with a left hook.
Oh.
And Carlos went down for the
Really?
first time in his entire career.
Oh.
Wow.
And that was that. I was sitting at ringside, and I literally said to my wife, I said, "This is when we find out what he's made of."
Right.
And he got up, he righted himself, and he went to war. And he wound up winning the fight, even having
been knocked down. So he had to really come back and
100%.
dominate.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. And that's a real trial. And that's a good trial to have now versus later, But it does show that, hey, you get knocked down, you can still win the thing. You just got to come out and do it. You got to be set on it.
Exactly right. I was so incredibly proud of him. I mean, he's 15-0 coming into that fight, never been knocked down, and to get absolutely clipped in the first round and
Come back and win it. That's crazy, man. That is
That's right.
amazing.
Yep.
That's amazing. All right. We'll talk more in just a minute. Let me finish up this news here that people are listening to. Disturbed's David Draymond. He's suing his former landlord over mold issues in a rental in Florida. Said he paid $18,500 a month for the 5,200 square foot house starting in December of 2022, then discovered mold and leaks that weren't disclosed. He said it harmed his health and singing career and sought to end the lease. He's accusing them of fraud and negligence. He also says the landlord didn't return his $37,000 security deposit.
God.
$37,000
That
security
hurts
deposit.
anybody, man.
Man, that's tough right there. Yeah, I might be mad on that one.
Hell yeah.
Matter of fact, I might be willing to fight somebody on that one.
And yeah.
Metallica's guitarist has a whole lot of guitars, enough to fill an entire book. Kirk Hammett released a new coffee table book titled originally The Collection Kirk Hammett, where he shows off his extensive guitar collection. So if you love guitars, you can drop $149 or $299 for a signed copy. The top of the line edition, limited to only 300 copies, comes with a signed art print, a miniature replica of his '79 Flying V. That's going to set you back about $7.99
Man.
for a book. Must be a great book.
Yeah. With pictures.
For people who love cheap food, Totino's, best known for pizza rolls, but they've created a new pizza ramen. It's a mashup of classic flavors of pizza with the texture of ramen noodles. You like or no?
No.
Not for you? Not down?
No.
Are you a ramen noodle guy? No, I can't imagine you'd be. No, I didn't think so. Let's see here. We might have our next out-of-the-blue internet sensation girl on our hands. University of Georgia student Lily Stewart got arrested and booked. She was speeding over the maximum limit. After pleading guilty, she paid a fine of $1,000, but it's the mugshot that's getting her attention. Once social media got a hold of her mugshot, they're like, whatever she did, my heart says she's innocent. How much is her bail? I'll pay it. Is her phone number in the police report? She was taking the fast lane to my heart.
Wow.
She is a cute girl, though. I looked at the picture. She's super cute. The newest World Happiness Report says we're grumpier than ever.
I believe it.
Yeah, European countries dominated the top 20. Finland, the happiest place in the world, allegedly. The U.S. dropped to 24th. Stats on the number of people dining alone increased 53% over the last decade. Who dines alone? I mean,
Single
only if I
people?
have to. You dine alone?
Sure.
Yeah. You enjoy that?
I mean, I don't mind it.
No. Yeah, I'm not a fan.
My son can do that, man. I can't do it.
To be honest with you, there are times when I get a few minutes to have lunch by myself. It's kind of nice. Not gonna
Well,
lie.
you probably have a lot of people, though, that you see throughout the day.
Sure.
So there's probably a lot going on where
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, I'd just like to get away from people.
Right.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's true. I mean,
Yeah.
I love being around people.
But
certainly,
we all get, need some airspace.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Nothing wrong with grabbing a quiet lunch by yourself and taking a minute.
Well,
you
good.
go.
But it's not because you're unhappy.
I would not say that I'm unhappy at all.
There you go. On Lufthansa, your bump up to first class could give you a chance to bump something else and get in the Mile High Club. They're now offering Allegris cabins that serve as two-person suites and have beds fit for two passengers.
That's
The cabins have plenty of room for somebody to sprawl out. The two-person suite offers travelers the opportunity to, well, you know what.
Pound Town.
Yeah, it's funny that they're celebrating and selling this now. They may as well. May as well.
Yeah.
What do I care? What's
So
happening?
you hit some turbulence. Like a
Find yourself naked out in
man
the aisle.
out in the aisle. Be like, uh-oh.
In Rockhampton, Australia, flying foxes are in
What?
breeding season. Yes, flying foxes, and they're causing disruptions at the airport.
Imagine.
Yeah, they're really bats. They're just real big. They call them flying foxes, but there's so many of them. They're so big that they're having to not fly planes until they get it taken care of.
That's horrible.
Australia is such a weird place.
Man, everything there's trying to kill you nearly.
Literally.
Yeah, no,
Literally.
we talked to Jason Gann. He played Wilfred. He's from Australia, and we talked about that. That even the people, he said, a street performer dressed as Mickey Mouse has been threatening tourists in Naples, Italy, with a knife after posing for photos and demanding money. They've reported him to the police, emphasized the need to protect their image. One mom shared on social media she was relieved to have escaped with her daughter after taking a picture with Mick the Knife.
Listen. Mickey's taking a beating right now.
He is.
We're losing a lot of money on that Snow White movie.
Yeah, no, that's true, man. That movie just bombed. You knew it was going to, man. Everything wrong with it was wrong with it. Let's see what upset started in the NCAA tournament. My bracket's just busted, man. It's busted. Creighton upset Louisville. McNeese, crazily.
That got everybody, I think.
Yeah, upset Clemson.
Didn't have that one.
No, Arkansas upset Kansas, and Drake beat Missouri.
Got 3 of the 4.
Yeah, you got 3 of the 4. I got 2 of the 4, and not the 2 I needed. Well, Drake, yeah, but
Drake was a good one.
let's see. The two of the first rounds of March Madness tip off today, starting at 12:15 Eastern time. Best game today might be number 4 Maryland versus number 13 Grand Canyon. They've got a reputation for being one of the most consistent mid-major upper programs in the country. Might give Maryland more than they expect. Blow work off for Memphis and Colorado State. Colorado's hot. This game's going to be a lot more fun than whatever you're supposed to do at work. Stick around for number 7 St. Mary's versus 10 Vanderbilt. St. Mary's does have enough to go the distance, I guess, or at least a ways. Stay up late for Oregon versus Liberty. If Liberty can control the pace, they might upset Oregon. Those would be some big upsets.
That's why I'm saying my bracket might flip after today, man.
It can. It goes so quick.
There's a
man.
bunch of them today that are like really like, yeah.
And finally, for news, while taking his sweet time trying to figure out what team will continue to be patient waiting on his quarterbacking services, Aaron Rodgers has representatives scoping out other opportunities. The Vikings, out. The top 2 contenders, the Giants and Steelers, both of whom can't be happy playing the waiting game. He's also possibly going to retire. So we don't know what's going to happen. Of course, some people don't like him. I don't know much about the guy personally other than he likes to go do ayahuasca.
That's about, yeah.
Yeah, that's about what I know about him personally. All right, that's enough of the news. So where's the camp going to be for Carlos, man?
So he'll be back. He's he always takes he always wants to take a week or 2 after a big fight, and reconnect with family and do that. He'll be back. He's flying back into Little Rock next week. Camp starts immediately.
Wow.
I'm working on. We've got multiple potential fights we're in the middle of negotiations on, and
So what's the for a next fight? How far out would it be? In theory.
yeah, in theory, probably sometime in the month of May. That's about as narrow as I can make it.
Okay, so that close.
Yeah.
So how intense is training between here and there?
It'll be really intense. You got a couple things. Number one, him fighting at 130 pounds is, with a fighter, particularly a boxer, you want to fight at the weight class as low as your body can
Right.
healthily get
Sure.
to. 130 is that mark for him, and so he'll be right back into doing a good weight cut. He's doing an excellent job right now of not allowing himself to get really high above that.
Right.
I think yesterday he told me he was at 145 right now.
Yeah.
So that's not
That's
crazy.
not too crazy to get off in that time.
No, it's not too bad. He's is doing well with that. He will, really be going. We will take at least 3 or 4 weeks, a lot of the month of April in Vegas, doing a lot of sparring and really working with a lot of really high level fighters out there.
Yeah.
He has become a regular at Floyd Mayweather's gym out there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And we've the blessing we have with our team and having a lot of good connections and being able to iron sharpens iron kind of thing. And but he'll be his home base is here in Little Rock and we're hopefully on track for
Heck
another
yeah.
world champion
That's
in
exciting.
Arkansas.
Well, we've just had the Looney Bin show up.
I
Scooch
got you.
down here, and let's let them pull that chair up over here, man. And let's put Orlando right here. How you doing, man?
Good, bro. Good.
Yeah, you know how we do it. Here. Yeah, let's slide him around over to this side, make sure everybody can see him good. Here, I tell you what, let's do this. We'll be right back, all right? You know what, as a real estate agent, I've seen lots of homes get caught up in probate. That's when somebody dies and they don't have a will. And the next thing you know, siblings are arguing over houses, possessions, cars, things like that. That is a nightmare you don't want any part of. You're going to need some help. You need someone with experience. You need Riggin Law. Okay, RigginLaw.com. Kristen Riggin there and her team are amazing at guiding you through this process. Look, you want to get what's coming to you, but you don't want to have to fight with everybody to get it. Just get Kristen to do the work for you. Go to RigginLaw.com. When you have questions, you have concerns about an inheritance, about anything like that, RigginLaw.com is the solution. Check them out. All right, we are back, and I'm very, very excited here that we've got Orlando in the house. This is Orlando Leyba. He is the headlining comedian at the Looney Bin this weekend. What's going on with you, man? How are you today?
Oh man, good. Excited. Got up early, it's 6 in the morning.
Yeah, it's way early for you.
No, I showered. I did
Thank
that, yeah, I didn't want to do that to you guys. So, showered, came over, and now I'm on a great podcast. Let's go,
Man, let's do it. Let's do it, man. So I'm excited. So, for people who don't know, you'll be headlining at the Looney Bin all weekend long. And tell people, what's your style of comedy? What are you about, man?
My it's just life, just talking about where I am, where I'm going, what's happening with me and stuff. I'm not a political guy. I mind my business. I grew up in an era where you didn't tell people who you voted for.
Yeah, right?
So I get along with everybody. That's
I'm the same way for the most part. I try to avoid that at every possible way I can.
Even when they throw it at me, they're like, "Who did you vote for?" And I just throw it right back at them. "Who did you vote for?" Like, "I voted for so and so," and I'm like, "So did I." And then we both thumbs up, and I keep moving. I lied.
Yeah, whoever they say, you're like, "Me too." Yeah, no, that's great. No, I get it.
I like that.
When I started in stand up, I made a decision to not do politics. I think I tried one set, and I was like, man, I hate it. It divides the audience right away, and unless you're really clever, hard to navigate.
Yes, and it's like they came, man. Like I don't operate from an ego, so I know that some people got a babysitter. People have worked all week. They saved up. They just came out last night. We were there at the Looney Bin here in Little Rock, and there was a couple that it was their first date. They've been talking, and they're older. They both have been divorced for 3 years, each one of them. This is the first time that they chose to meet up. And
Oh, wow.
They came out to a show, and I was like, and now I'm gonna ruin their night by talking
On
about
politics,
Yeah,
right?
like nah.
No, man, I agree. I think comedy is an escape in a lot of ways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So who were, coming up, growing up, who were your inspirations for comedy?
Inspirations. I discovered the first one was Eddie Murphy Raw. I remember my brother having that VHS. I saw that.
Yeah.
So then I forgot about it. I forgot about comedy, and I just kept on being a kid. And then once I got older and it all started to make sense, I got to see an early Bill Burr, and
Oh,
to this
yeah.
day he's like one of my top.
No, I just saw his new set. It's outstanding.
Oh, it's on Hulu. It's a masterclass.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
And so I got to see early Bill Burr. I also had the opportunity. Nate Bargatze's one of my favorites. So I'm like caught in between that world of
Yeah,
Bill
that's
Burr.
two different styles
Yeah,
there.
two different styles, but I love it. I love it. But it's where I am too. I'm an older guy. I'm married, so I understand all the stuff that they're talking about.
Right. No, I remember when I tried to perform at a college once, and it was probably my worst performance in my mind. It was fine, but they just don't have any real world experience, so
Exactly, yes.
they don't understand that stuff when you start talking about it.
Exactly. Yeah, I avoid those colleges. Yeah, I do that.
Bill Burr, we just watched. Every friend that comes to our house that likes comedy, if they haven't seen it, we always pull up the Bill Burr Philadelphia thing.
Yes.
Where he went at the audience
Yes.
for 13 minutes, whatever it was.
Yes, yeah, and he's counting it down.
Yeah.
5 more minutes.
No, he just absolutely. It's the best turnaround I've ever seen in my life.
And everybody, that show, I know a lot of the guys. I know Bobby Kelly. I got to meet Patrice here and there.
Patrice O'Neal. Yeah.
Patrice O'Neal. So everybody was bombing on that. They were just, the audience was they had drank too much. It's Philadelphia. They were rowdy. And then Bill he goes, until this day, Bill says what saved him was the fact that he knew so much about Philadelphia and their sports team.
Right.
Like,
'cause
one of your guys, I forgot what position the guy played, was like a bar back.
Yeah.
One of your best players was a bar back.
Yeah.
From it was like.
No, he talked about the Liberty Bell. He talked about everything, man.
It's such a great bit.
No, it is. It is. So, you performed all over. How long have you been doing stand up now?
Now 13 years.
Wow, 13 years.
Yes.
So you probably had some, moments where you've worked with a lot of different comedians. What was the moment you just went, damn, this is crazy, man?
It's the beautiful thing about stand up, and you know this obviously, that once you're in it, you see how small it is and then you get to be part of this small fraternity. So I've been in green rooms with like Jerry Seinfeld.
Wow.
I've been in green rooms with, some people may not know him, but to me he was like a god. He is Brian Regan.
Oh, yeah.
This guy Brian used to tour with 3 different hours. Like he would come to the first show, he would do an hour. Yeah. Oh, let's come back to the late show. He would be doing a
whole different hour.
Yes.
Really? That is impressive to come and do 3 different hours.
All these things. Louis C.K. I've been in there. I've been in Madison Square Garden with.
Yeah, I'd be fine. He can come to my room and do his business, and I'll, just go ahead, Louis, you take care of it.
He always asked for permission. He
he did.
He always asked
did
for
do that.
consent.
He did ask
He's a gentleman. He always asked for consent.
Gentleman.
That's the story right there.
No, that was the story right there.
Yeah, that was the story, and
No, it really was.
Genius writer. I'm not. Yeah, that's just whatever he did, and he apologized for it. But he did ask for consent.
Yeah, no, you're right. A lot of people don't know, just how influential Louis C.K. is, and all the things that he's written, and all the things that he's done.
He's a machine. I remember from Louis, just getting advice from him. One of the things is like grab your closer and open with that. Because in comedy, your closer is like your biggest.
Right.
This is where all the fireworks and everything goes off. He said, grab that and open with that.
And that makes you
that
work.
forces you to write.
Yeah, that forces you to work real hard.
Yes,
Yeah. Didn't he write, am I wrong, is he the one that wrote Pootie Tang?
I don't recall. I don't know.
I was thinking maybe it was.
But I know he wrote for the Chris Rock show. He wrote for Chris Rock.
Yeah, he did. I'm almost certain that he was the one that wrote Pootie Tang.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is pretty amazing, No, he was great. And I've seen him, starting to come back a little bit. Is he kind of back
he still
up?
does it. He's a great example to everybody who's like, oh, there's too many gatekeepers. People are stopping me. No, there's none of that. That's all in your head.
Yeah.
Man, Robert Kelly, which is a comic, a really good comic that's been out there for years. He's just never had this big pop. He's acted and stuff. I remember he shot Robert Kelly's special. It's called Kill Box. And then Louis C.K. put it on his website for $5. And that thing just rolled.
Just blew up.
Robert Kelly probably made more money than if he would have sold it to like a Netflix or.
That's
a
wild,
Yeah.
man. That's
So
wild.
that's how Louis is,
So, in this modern era of comedy, how do you thrive and survive and grow and become better?
I'm lucky. I'm one of the few lucky ones that I like to refer to myself as a journeyman because I'm able to do everything. I'm able to come here to the Looney Bin. I'm here all weekend and play the Looney Bin. I'm also able to go and do a corporate gig in Portland. I won't do colleges, but that's just, like you just said, it's a preference thing for me. We're
Yeah.
really not going to relate. I don't want them to have a bad time. I'm not,
And I mean, you stay away from the college crowd. College kids thought Dane Cook was funny. So,
But Dane Cook was funny during that time. It just didn't keep on evolving,
No,
that B&E joke from back
Oh
in the
my
day
God.
was hilarious.
No,
I'm doing a B&E and the
Yeah.
act out.
I don't mean bacon and eggs. No, he had one of the greatest stage presences I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And something went wrong along the way where he
Yeah.
he didn't grow or something. I don't know.
A lot of personal stuff. I
Yeah,
don't know if you know his
well,
brother
his
stole like
agent- yeah,
$6
brother
million
stole a lot of
from him.
money.
Those are like real numbers.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's real
not,
money.
oh, he owes me $5,000. That was $6 million, his brother.
That will make you less
Yes,
funny.
Yes, yeah. Yes,
That'll make you serious.
and stuff. And then you also get caught. You gotta be careful you don't get. This is what I learned from like your Bill Burrs, your Brian Regans, and stuff. I've had the opportunity to work with Patton Oswalt, and Patton Oswalt. A lot of people know him from King of Queens and stuff.
Yeah.
This guy does theaters, but I'll go out on the road with him, and you'll just see the new hour and the new hour and the new hour, and then they'll come and play like these are theater guys, and then they'll come and play like the Looney Bin.
Right.
And you're like, what the heck? And it's like you see them; they're just there building it, and then they take it up to the theater.
What do you think, someone like that, what's the difference between them and any comedian trying to make it? What is it that's special about these comedians that do have the pop, as you call it?
The pop, Anthony Mackie just did a great interview. He plays the new Captain America.
Yes, I know. He's
he
a great actor.
Yes, and he was on 8 Mile. He was Papa Doc.
Yeah.
And he gave a good. At some point, you put in all the work. You can go and do all the reps, do everything. At some point, you got to get tapped in the shoulder. Someone taps you in the. Me, Patton Oswalt. Hey, Orlando. Hey, why don't you come on the road with me? And that all comes from luck, timing, preparation.
Right.
And you just
Being the right kind of person.
Yes. And why are you doing it? I love this stand-up thing. You understand? Like this is actors. I live in Hollywood, so
Yeah.
actors are jealous of stand-ups because no one needs to write my stuff. I can just
You
go
just
up
do
on
it
stage
yourself.
and try, and no one can. You can never really be. There was this whole thing, and all these people were crying about getting canceled. No one gets canceled. No one. Trust me, no one gets canceled. At the very least, I could say the worst thing in the world. And at some bar, they'll put me up and they'll pay me with a plate of food.
Yeah.
And stuff. So it's like, no one gets canceled.
Right.
I'm a big believer in that. People, I got to watch out. Well, yeah, dude, like it's evolved. You're not supposed to use that word anymore. Yeah, but it's my freedom. And I go, so I know you. You're a great joke writer. You say you can't take that challenge and write something better. Or just don't go in that direction.
Or, like Dave Chappelle, be funny.
Yeah.
Just be damn funny.
Yeah.
Because you can get away with saying a lot of stuff if you're funny and if it's laid out well.
Yes.
It's when that you aren't funny and you're doing that kind of stuff that's when the problems show up.
Where you're trying to have the shock be the joke.
Yeah.
Where like just saying that particular word or going at that particular person.
Right.
Like that. Like I don't like ohs and ahs, and a lot of ohs and ahs are now being understood by certain comics like it's laughter. No, laughter is ha ha ha. It's a glitch in the brain that the body doesn't know how to react. So this thing comes out of your mouth that just goes ha ha ha. That's
No, you're right. And some comics, they do find that they do think that's cool, but ultimately, long term, it won't play out for them.
No, I see a lot of them. But here's the thing that honestly, they can go somewhere and make a living. You know, and sometimes, you know, they can't make a living out on the road and be everywhere in every market, but they can get on YouTube and get millions and millions of followers and then monetize it, and
Yeah.
they get
No,
that
that's
check
true.
at home, and then they're a rock star in their particular bubble, and that's good for them.
Yeah.
you know?
Now you said that Patton Oswalt asked you to go on the road with him. How did that happen? How did that play out? How did that even?
I took a hosting job at the Irvine Improv, and he saw me perform, and he was just like, "Come on."
Really? It was that simple. He saw
That's it.
one performance
Yeah, one performance.
and said, "Man, I want you to come with me."
And then when we went on the road, I left them alone. I'm also that one of the things that I tell, especially to new comics, is like, if the headliner's there, if like read the room, like Patton Oswalt, I remember going on the road with him, and this guy, for those that don't know him, he acts. He also does comic books. He does animation. Puts out books. So I remember being on the road with him. We're in some theater in Colorado, and he has 3 scripts open in his green room.
Yeah.
Like, cause he's
Looking at him, evaluating.
no, not even evaluate. He already accepted,
Oh, he's got 'em.
and he's
Okay.
working on 3 different projects
Damn.
at the same time. Because he's not the star, so it's like he has a part in AP Bio, which is
Yeah.
a TV show, and then he has this movie about him being a dad, and then he has this animated thing where he's playing MODOK, this cartoon villain, and he has all 3 things, and that's where in the road he's reading them. When we land back in LAX. My wife picks me up, but then he gets a black SUV picking him up.
Right.
But he's not going home. He's going straight to the studio.
Right. Yeah.
He's that guy. So naturally. I read the room. I leave him alone.
Yeah. No, you
I
understand.
don't go, hey, how did you get started?
You're not
And
fanboying him.
It's not. I don't want to use fanboy because I don't want people to feel bad that do that, but they ask questions because
Yeah.
I love answering questions. But just read the room. It's like,
Right.
okay, this guy right now, he's dialing in. I can't be in here.
Yeah.
You know?
So, in your stand-up, is it just, are you doing observational story humor? Do you do impressions? What is your,
Right now, it's like the journeys I've been on. Everything from I was recently on America's Got Talent, so I'm talking about my experience on America's Got Talent. I lost to a guy with shadow puppets.
Did you really?
It's all right. It's on the resume. I own it. It's part of it. You know what I'm saying? It's a journey. It's a journey.
That's a tough one to swallow, the puppets, man.
No, but he was there. He killed it. He made those puppets booty shake. I couldn't do that. And it was just his fingers. You understand? I lost to a guy with exposed lighting and plain fingers. That's why he didn't even have outfits. And then I talk about that, and I talk about how they treated me. I have a big chunk on that. I also talk about having a kidney stone. So it's just basically my life and the funny stuff.
How was it? What is it like on one of those shows from the point they, say, yeah, we'd like to have you on? How do they go? What's the kind of the format of it?
For me, it was different. This was one of those things that there was no agent involved, no manager. I submitted online. It was during COVID when I submitted. So nobody's doing nothing. And I was out in the field because I volunteered with the Los Angeles Fire Department, and I was giving out COVID tests. So we're there. I'm going over to where the migrant workers are, the people that are picking the lettuce and stuff, because they speak Spanish. I happen to speak Spanish. They weren't, so nobody wanted to go to that part of town because everybody was really sick because they didn't know how to report it. They don't speak
Right.
the language. And they're migrant workers, which they come in with I forgot what the visa is. It's a certain visa where they come, they work the season, they get paid in dollars, and then they go back to
Right.
Mexico. So I went over there. I'm working with them. I'm sitting there in the laptop at one of the locations with the firefighters. The ad comes up, and I just submit it. Time passes. We come out of COVID. They call me. I audition online. They said, we want to bring you in. I come in. I audition for for the judges. I make it past that stage.
Now, the judges at that point, are they known judges or just like producers and things at that point?
Well, no, because we were still dealing. It was that weird COVID era
Right.
thing. All the pre stuff was being done through the internet.
Okay.
So I was auditioning at home.
Yeah.
So picture a computer screen and with a bunch of people auditioning. And when it was your turn, they would make you the main, but everybody else was watching. But I also had the people watching, they're listening, the other people auditioning, and I had them laughing because it was just kind of like what we're doing here, just a nice
Right,
conversation,
yeah.
going back and forth. And so then when I do make it to the soundstage in Pasadena to the theater, I'm auditioning for Simon and Howie and Sophia, and it was just great. The only bad thing that was kind of rough was that I went right after this African choir that sang a song from a girl that died from cancer.
Oh, no.
Yeah. This is the year that I did it.
Oh, no.
So I auditioned after them. When they aired it, it looked like I auditioned before them, but no. I followed that. And
wow.
listen, and they got the golden buzzer. They got the golden buzzer.
Right, of course.
There's confetti everywhere, right? Confetti, and I'm like, and then people start crying, and Simon comes on stage and he's crying. Everybody's crying because the poor girl passed away of the song that this African choir, and they sound like the Lion King. It's amazing, right? And they're doing that, and then they have the and it's the last golden buzzer. So now I don't even have a chance of getting the golden buzzer, right? It was on everything I hold dear. It was the last golden buzzer. Now they're sweeping up all the confetti. You know, they work real fast. They pick up all the confetti. Everybody resets. They put the makeup back on Simon and on
Now
Sophia.
you got to come out.
Yeah, and then Terry Crews goes, Orlando, and you go. And then, all right, let's go do that.
Did he do a little dance first?
Yes, and then and it was, I think at first it was scary, but then I was just like, I gotta follow that. It's like working, like following the widow at
Right.
at
At a funeral?
Yeah, at a funeral of the owner of the company. I've done that too. He passed away last year, but he wanted to make sure we had this event and we had Orlando out. I've done that, and I'm like, all right. So then I follow her. I followed and they were like, it was kind of like letting the air out of the bag. Like everybody was able to have that release.
Kind of a tension break.
Yes.
So it kind of worked to your
It
advantage.
worked to my benefit. I would have gotten a golden buzzer if
If it wasn't for cancer.
Yes.
The damn cancer, man.
Yes.
You got any questions for him?
No, I'm fascinated by the process and the journey and the different people that you come in contact with. I've heard people say Terry Crews is one of the nicest guys in the world. It sounds like you enjoyed.
Oh, Terry Crews, he genuinely. I remember doing shows around LA and having Terry Crews, like he would post them up.
Yeah.
And Simon Cowell was like the nicest. I will talk like Dirt too. The one that was off was Howie.
I was just fixing that.
Yeah, Howie sank me.
Yep.
The first performance was great because I did this whole bit about Yellowstone National Park and the TV show Yellowstone. I'm a big fan of that whole series, all of them, I'm into 1923 right now, heavy. So I did that. And then the second one I did all about, I don't, certain things. Like, I don't trust married dudes that are in shape. I don't know why. Why are you married? Why do you have a six-pack? You understand me? Like, I don't understand. Like, it doesn't make, that's not natural. That's not the way.
It's not natural.
The way nature intended it. The minute you get married, you get a little belly.
Or a lot of belly.
Yeah, that's not even for him, or it's for her, so she could have somewhere to rest her belly.
Yeah.
Anyway. So I do that, and I also, since I'm in the flow of things, I go, why? Why do you have that? Why do you have a six-pack? That doesn't. Who are you, Terry Crews? And then I threw him, and then the camera cuts to Terry Crews. It was this beautiful moment.
That's great.
I have it in the bag. We're good. And then I'll give you all the dirt. Sofia Vergara at the time is going through a divorce.
Oh, yeah, right.
And her husband supposedly is real handsome. He was like,
No,
woof.
he is. His name's Joe Manganiello, and
Yeah.
Ironically, he is the host of Deal or No Deal Island, which is a reality show based around that.
Yes. So he's like really handsome with a six pack and everything.
Yeah, he's got all that.
So Howie Mandel, everybody's like, Simon Cowell, that was amazing. Orlando, you came out. Howie also compliments Orlando, you came here. Joke, joke, joke. That was perfect. Sophia starts talking. Oh my God, you were amazing. I'm probably doing a bad impression of her. And then this guy, Howie Mandel, turns to Sophia and he goes, "Hey, Sophia, how do you feel what Orlando said about your husband having a six pack and not trusting him?" And she's going through a divorce from this guy. And then everybody goes, whoa. All the cameras point away from me. They point at Sophia, and that's the end of it. The next day on all the press, it's like Howie Mandel makes fun of Sophia's divorce. Not one mention
Not
of me.
you
No,
weren't even
no,
there.
nothing.
Oh wow, man! And was that the end of the ride, or did you go through the next round?
No, that was the end. That was the live show. So the first one that you audition is that one is pre-taped. Then the second one, then you got to make it into the live show. That's what the golden buzzard is about. If they hit the golden buzzard, that means you automatically go to the
To the end, basically. Yeah.
Yes, you go not to
to
the
the
end,
good,
to the live shows, you know. And then if anybody ever does America's Got Talent, here's my recommendation. If you do the taping, after the taping, you accept the first batch of live shows. I accepted the last batch.
Oh,
So
okay.
they give you like a group A, group B, group C, group D.
Take the first
Yes, I was working in Europe, and I didn't want to lose that work because I've already had enough experience with Hollywood. Where we're gonna put you on, and then you cancel. I canceled a whole tour in Japan
Oh wow.
over a show with Kevin Hart, Heart of
Yeah.
the City, and they did not put me on.
Oh wow.
And all I could think, I didn't even care about not getting put on. I was just like, I miss a whole Japanese USO tour.
That would have been cool, too.
Yeah, we're gonna go to all the military bases in
Yeah.
Japan and perform for the troops. I'm doing that now in the Caribbean.
Thank you for doing that, by the way.
I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, I know I was disappointed. I didn't make it as far as you did, so to speak, but I auditioned for Survivor. And, they reached out to me, and I did, I think, 3 different calls. The next call I was going to get if I made it through was going to be from the host of Survivor, Jeff Probst. And I was like, after I did my last interview, I was like, I'm feeling good about it, feeling good. It didn't happen. It didn't get that next call. They were nice. They actually told me, we're only casting for 1 instead of 2 seasons, so please come back next year. And I was like, I will. I'll do it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see if I can get out there and lose a bunch of weight and be an idiot on Survivor.
You could be Tom Hanks.
Yeah, that's right.
Getting lost. I love it.
I'm always surprised, because they always do it at the same location, and I'm like, everybody's always hungry. I'm like, did you look up the shit around there? Because I will find something edible.
Yeah, I'll figure something out.
Yeah, I will find a plant that you can eat.
I'll tape some donuts or something.
Yeah, I know I know that's right.
I'll show up. They're like, "Oh, Orlando, you gotten chunkier." Oh, don't worry. Why are you crackling so much? Don't worry about it. You smell like honey bun. Don't worry about it. That's
what you need to know,
a new lotion I'm using.
That's great, man. That's great. So you got shows all weekend. Tonight you got 2 shows. Tomorrow 2 shows. Is that right?
Yes.
All right.
Tonight 2 shows. Tomorrow 2 shows. Looney Bin, Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm really impressed by Little Rock. This is my first time here.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and I look young and stuff, but I'm an older guy. So I remember like when Little Rock. I was just talking to Wayne, one of the owners of the Looney Bin. I remember back in the day when Little Rock was like
Banging in Little Rock.
Yes. I was just like,
1992, baby.
I'm originally from Miami, Florida, and I was just like, man, they're out there using long guns. You know what I'm saying? They're not. It's not even
muskets.
It's not even revolvers and stuff. They're out there. But I was like, but they're putting up real numbers. Those are solid numbers.
No, they were at the top of the scoreboard for a minute.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
But it's not like that now. I walk around, I see everything, I feel safe. You guys gave us a president. It's an amazing. I hope that not people don't find out about Little Rock and it stays
Well,
the way that it is. I'm just telling you because I was a big fan of like Austin, Texas.
until it blew up.
And I kept telling them, yo, shut up. I would tour over there, and I'll be like, awesome is great, make awesome wear. And I was like, you guys don't understand what's going to happen. People are going to migrate here, and then you're going to have to move out. And that's exactly what
Well,
happened.
yeah, last year the secret got out. We were the most moved to state in the country.
Yes.
Everybody figured out they're all fleeing the West Coast because it's expensive. You understand that.
And they're fleeing Texas. They're fleeing Florida, too.
Yeah.
Because it's also like a weather thing happening. People are migrating because of weather.
I wouldn't come here because of weather.
Tornado.
Man, we just had, in a week, we had heat.
Yeah.
Above 70, we had snow, and then we had a tornado all inside of a week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Welcome to Arkansas.
Yeah.
They missing an earthquake.
You don't need that.
Yeah,
You don't need that.
please.
We get because I've had the hurricanes in Florida plus the flooding. Florida, you sneeze the wrong way and you'll flood the street. Like it just because it's built on water. It's just
Yeah.
water. Everything is just.
No, it's like
it's
New
a
Orleans.
swamp that we put concrete on top of. So everything, your house sink. You come home. Hey, I left my house here. Where'd it go?
Yeah, people don't understand New Orleans is literally, if they don't have the pumps under, it's underwater.
Yeah,
They
it's
have to
below.
keep it
It's
pumped.
below. It's below sea level.
And it keeps getting hit, and they're like, no, we'll do it again. I'm like, why don't you just move back?
Yes.
Maybe you move back a little bit.
Just a
Good
little
idea.
bit.
Yeah,
Just
I mean, I don't know.
just leave. There's,
Yeah, that's a
there's
good idea.
other
There's other
places. There's a
states, yeah.
bunch of empty land
There
around
is,
this
there's,
country.
there's
People,
some, yeah.
I just don't get it. That's like my family that lives in New York City. I tell them, you could move, you know that, right? Like you work at CVS. It ain't like maybe get a transfer. Like it ain't like you're saving lives and something. I tell people sometimes they just need to hear it from a different perspective.
Yeah, New York is a different vibe altogether.
It's a
isn't it?
different. It's a different. Los Angeles is a different. It's good. I'm lucky that I've gotten to travel the world. I highly recommend that to everybody, especially every young man. I tell them, hey man, if you could just save up some money and take yourself a nice little trip, go somewhere, leave the country, so you could get a different aspect of life and understanding. I know it's comfortable being home, but sometimes you got to leave and see something else so that you could come back. And sometimes you come back more inspired, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna open that detailing shop business.
Yeah. No, you're right. Man, it's so great to have you in it. It seems like, just in general conversation, you're pretty fun, so I can't imagine how good your comedy must be. I bet you really turn up.
Thank you. But it's you. You're hosting. Is great. You did this. You used to call into the radio shows back in the day.
I did.
What radio station did you work at?
I worked at a station called The Edge here for about 20 years. I spent 7 years free. What I did.
I did payola at radio station.
Did you? That's the way to do it.
I would take the bag. I was the guy with the bag.
Yeah, here you go, guys.
Yeah, I did that.
Here you go. Here's the cash.
Did that, and I bought a bunch of I sent people to Hawaii and the Bahamas, down in Florida.
That'll do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
I'm not gonna say the stations, but
No, but that'll do it.
allegedly, it wasn't
You
real.
would have been on every day if I'd gone to Hawaii. So I wish I'd known. I could have really helped.
That was my job. That was my job from the record labels. But people, Google payola, you'll understand what it was.
Did you work with the labels?
I did, but it was we did the street promotion, so that was
Okay.
the way that the label could do payola.
Uh-huh.
Which was the label can't do it legally,
Right.
but they can hire a subcontractor in the local city.
Mm-hmm.
So then the artist comes to town. I would drive the artist and everything. Man, I had this artist called Sean Paul, and he was.
I know who Sean Paul
Yeah,
is.
so
Temperature?
yeah,
I
with the
know Sean
Jamaican
Paul.
patois and
Yeah.
everything, right? And I'm driving. I'm not a drug guy, and then he wanted hey, do you have some spliff? Do you have some weed and everything? Because I'm the local ground guy who drives
Right.
the talent around. But my job strictly was take the artist to the radio station. They do the interview and take them back to the hotel.
Yeah.
This guy thinks I'm the one that's supposed to provide him the
Party favorites.
the herbal essence.
Yeah.
And I go, no, I don't have any of that stuff, man. And he goes, and he's talking with the Jamaican patois, da, 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 da. And then I go, no, I don't have any. And then this guy came at me with the Queens. What do you mean? He just dropped the whole
All the
Jamaican.
accents
He
gone.
dropped all the accents. What exactly do you mean? You showed up with no. And I was like, yeah, that's not my job.
Were you not more shocked that he quit using his accent?
Yeah, that's what I was shocked at. I was like that. And I told him, you dropped. I'm going to tell everybody.
I had funny enough, I had a comedian that, I used to book shows here all the time, and I had a comedian I brought in, I won't name him, but he was Scottish, and I really thought he was Scottish for probably 2 times I brought him here.
Yes.
Finally, the 3rd time he slipped, and I went, you're not from, he goes, no, I'm from San Francisco. I'm like, you're a bitch, man. You fake accent ass. Get out of here, man, with that.
He goes, I got caught up. I did it once on stage. It worked and everything.
But, that wasn't why I quit bringing him. Actually, and I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but I'd booked him it was probably the 5th time I'd booked him. So he'd been here a few times, and he traveled a lot. He performed everywhere. And I guess when you appropriate things, you might not always remember where from. Mm-hmm. And so, I did the feature work and opened for him and everything, and he comes up, and I'm sitting there at the table with my buddies, and we're just watching, and all of a sudden my buddy looks at me and goes, is he doing your joke? And I was like, not just my joke, my closer. He did my closer, which is a 5-minute bit.
Yes.
And he changed like 2 things. It barely changed anything. And I'm like, bro, you must have forgot that you heard that from me, man. And so I didn't use him anymore after that.
Yes. It always it happens a lot in our line of work.
Yeah.
But those guys never go anywhere. Some of them do, and then they get called out.
No, ultimately, if you're not real,
because
you will be found.
yes, we self-police, and we kind of like, hey man, that's not a bit, but it's happened to me. It's happened. I just had this conversation with one of my real good friends, Forrest Shaw, and he was telling me that he had forgotten, and then the guy is doing the closing bit on his comedy special.
Wow.
And it's like, wait a minute, and it was
wow.
yes, and it's on his comedy special, and it's and they're real good friends, and he's like, man, it's part of the game. It happens.
Yeah. Well, I guess if it was a good friend, you might let it slip, but this guy was not a good friend.
Yes, and we know that comic comes from a tree that did that a lot. Meaning the guy that comic used to open for, that comic also used to do the same thing.
All right, we're going to take a break now and play a song, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more with these guys. Give us just a second, and here, check this one out. Okay.
Watching the club door, low-key sitting on pins. Let me tell you what for. Where do I begin? How, where, when? Saw you last Saturday night, shaking it on the dance floor. Damn girl, that dress was tight. I wanna go to the candy store. Candy store. If turning me on is the goal, you understood the assignment. You didn't just break the mold. Baby, you're the blueprint. Walking, I can barely compute. You rockin' fishnet stockings and those red leather boots. If you're a door, you got me knocking. Not 2 feet in and the men are like piranhas. Guys are stumbling, spilling their gin and sweating like the sauna. If turning me on is the goal, you understood the assignment. You didn't just break the mold. Baby, you're the blueprint. Here I come, girl, we're about to be needed. About to ask you to dance and I plan to leave undefeated. I don't have any clue what you plan for the night. I'm playing my hand for you. I just hope I play it right. If turning me on is the goal, you wonder the blueprint. Oh, yeah, you're the blueprint. You're the blueprint's blueprint. You didn't break the mold. You're the blueprint. I just wanna be your architect.
Your architect.
That's right, baby. That's right. Sing it. Go ahead and sing it, man. Welcome back, man. How great was it having Orlando in here? This dude's funny.
He's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, no, he did a great job. Listen, he's going to be worth the time at the Looney Bin. I can tell you that. Got a question here. Says this is from Mike. He said, "Could you ask your boxing expert if he knows of an old customer of mine named Ray Rogers, funniest old man I ever knew, Jermaine Taylor's legendary cut man?"
I don't know Ray personally. I know of him. So one of Jermaine has had a handful of pretty amazing trainers over the years. One of whom is a guy by the name of Danny Smith. Danny, probably one of the, in my opinion, the best boxing trainer that's currently active right now, and he is who I'm actually working with to train Carlos.
Yeah.
A lot of points of connection there, but I know of Ray. Everyone I've ever talked to has told me that Ray, exactly the same description. Ray's freaking hilarious, great cut man, great with the fighters, just great dude.
Yeah, that's probably a great disposition as a cut man.
Yeah.
You know, to have a little humor there to kind of
100%.
pull people out of that. You're just stuck in the mindset. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Little Doggy said, "Man, I love how you always bring out the person behind the comic." Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's very kind of you to say. Tasha said, "Yeah, not just focusing on the work persona of people." I think it's interesting hearing more about their story. I mean, they're supposed to be funny, and that comes out naturally, but I'm always more interested in the journey because that tells me more about their comedy,
Yeah, it's easier to relate to somebody when you know more about them as a person, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what the whole world is about. We're supposed to be getting to know each other as people instead of just some asshole on the internet that you yell at.
Right, and there's enough of that going on. That's
Right.
for damn sure, man.
Yep.
So, now that you got Carlos's going, are you looking to bring other boxers in as well? Or are you staying just tightly focused on Carlos right now in this run?
As I sit here at this moment right now,
Yeah.
our primary focus is Carlos. There are a handful of other fighters. I got reached out to from a boxer, 5-0 boxer in Kenya, who's trying to get into the U.S. I was on the phone yesterday with a young man in North Carolina who's he's an amateur, got a great amateur record, wants to go pro. So there's a lot of opportunities, but to me the biggest thing right now is I'm trying to focus on what we can do that's going to move the needle for Arkansas.
Right.
So there's a lot of that.
So in other words, if I'm hearing you correct, you're saying if we dial in on this and Carlos makes a mark, then because of that, everything else is going to fall into line.
Yeah. Arkansas can be a destination in the boxing world.
Yeah.
It is changing. Vegas will always be the center of the universe for boxing.
Sure.
But a lot of trainers and fighters and a lot of people are realizing that, you want to fight there, you don't want to train there full time.
All right.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of smaller areas that are becoming destinations for training and for camps and that kind of stuff.
And I could see that. It makes sense. Get them away from the big city, get them into an area where it's less congested. They can stay more focused. There's not as many distractions.
That's right.
And trust me, I've been to Vegas, a lot of distractions there.
Yes, the entire city is a big distraction.
It's one big distraction, isn't it? Yeah, no, that's true. If a fighter was interested, how would they, even reach out to you guys?
We've got a pretty decent web presence and email address. That's if you're wanting to reach out and start a conversation, that's the best way.
All right, what's the website?
Simple email address, just Victor at proformatalent.us.
Proformatalent.us. Okay. Not actively, talking to people, of course, not necessarily actively looking, but if the right one came, maybe.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that if a big enough boxer reached out, you'd be like, yeah, we might work it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's fine. What do I think we talked about it the first time you came here, but you feel, if I'm not mistaken, that who are the two brothers that
Logan and
yeah
Jake.
the Pauls.
Yep.
Yeah.
You think that's good for boxing?
Yeah, I mean, boxing has always been, it's a business. And
Yeah.
it is a business that's built around a spectacle. And so, yes, there are fighters that are trying to win a title, but let's face it, when I say boxing, when I say all-time great, who do you think of?
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
The biggest spectacle, the man that perfected the art of the interview, the
Yeah.
spectacle.
No, he
That's
did.
what boxing is. That's what they're doing.
So what do you say when people say, well, boxing once was amazing, but now it's really all MMA? That's where it's at.
So I think MMA has carved out a new niche, and it is bringing something interesting that I'm all for. I'm a big MMA fan. I have a personal background in MMA. But I think if you look at the numbers, boxing is different, and it has a different audience. And frankly, I think we're moving back into a resurgence. The Dana White partnering with some of the international elements. I think boxing.
Is making a big resurge.
Yes, we're about to have another golden age of boxing, in my opinion.
I don't doubt that, actually. I think that, part of the challenge has been that in recent memory, there hasn't been a champion that had that swag like a Muhammad Ali or,
Yep.
a Mike Tyson, someone that just commanded everyone's attention and said, hey, well, you got to watch this guy. I mean, even when we had, look, I loved Jermaine Taylor. A great fighter, but he didn't have the dynamic presence of a Muhammad Ali or a Tyson or and so I think maybe that's part of it sometimes.
I agree. I think if anybody, I would encourage anybody who has a passing interest in boxing to go. There was a fight just a couple weeks ago between Gervonta Davis, Tank Davis, and Lamont Roach. That was an amazing boxing match.
Yeah.
Whether or not people agree with the final outcome.
Right.
But I mean,
Did Tank win?
he did.
Okay.
He took a knee. He took a knee.
Yes, he did. But I think Canelo Alvarez, in my opinion,
yeah, he's a
best
dog.
pound for pound guy in the world right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
Yes.
as much as I love him, he's not as marketable. He's not a big personality. He's very
Right.
quiet. He's very blue
Right.
collar. But that's what I love about him. I want to root for him because
He's not that guy.
He's not in
He's
the
about
club
his
at-
business.
That's exactly
He
right.
just goes in and whoops somebody's ass and
100%.
goes home and takes that check with him.
That's right.
Well, that's how. What was his name?
Khabib,
Khabib. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
Khabib.
kind of that way. Matter of fact, if you look
BMF.
at,
He got the BMF title, didn't he?
I think so.
I think he did.
I know that everybody in his family are winners. They whoop ass. That's what I know.
And on the MMA thing, you look at a guy like, keep it in Arkansas, a guy like Bryce.
Yeah.
Let's face it, there's a lot of people who are very mad at some of the things he has said.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Rightfully so.
No,
Rightfully so.
yeah.
However, everybody and their freaking dog is going to sign up to watch his next fight. They may be watching because they want to see
Because they
get
want to
his
see
ass
him
kicked.
get his ass beat.
Yeah.
But they're still going to pay to watch
Right.
the fight. And
No,
that's
it's-
the business.
That is the business, and I guess I hadn't thought about it in that perspective. You could be the heel or the baby face. I guess he's definitely the heel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think, while I do appreciate what you're saying, and it's probably true, I was disheartened to some extent because I was like, man, we got a good fighter.
Yeah, I liked him.
And then
man.
all of a sudden it was like, I can't really
Yeah.
root for you, man.
no, I agree.
I can't root. I can root for you to get your ass beat.
Right,
Sure,
right.
sure. But I think Bryce has a part to play in, again, bringing a little bit of that gravity and a little bit of the awareness of some of the athletes we have here in Arkansas. It's what we're trying to do with Carlos, and we will do with other athletes. It takes a little bit of time, but I think we're going to get there. And not to put a plug in for Carlos, but I'm going to put a plug in for Carlos. you want somebody that's not going to be going on radio interviews talking about Hitler being a good dude.
Yeah.
Carlos is that guy.
Yeah, no, I'm all in on,
Yep.
I told you from the beginning, I love Carlos because he is humble.
Yep.
But he's hungry. So
Right.
that I would describe him as humble but hungry.
Yep.
And he's about his business, but he's super nice, but he's serious. I mean, he puts in the work, man.
100%. He
So-
is driven.
Yeah, very driven. I
Who
mean,
was it,
it's-
Hagler, that said it's hard to get motivated when you're getting out of a Rolls Royce and you're sleeping in a mansion every night?
That's
yeah.
right.
I think
you lose
that-
that dog, man.
No, I think that happened to Rhonda. I think that happened to Connor. I think that happens to a lot of these
them.
people who, you get
It would
a-
happen to me.
Well,
Like,
I
you
think
know what
it-
I'm saying? Like I think that's
It's part of the
Yeah,
the challenge, I guess, to stay.
you've been broke your whole life and you're fighting for what you have, and you actually hit the plateau, and you're like, oh yeah, I got this.
No,
And
I-
a lot of people hit that
I
button.
mean, look,
think.
and once you have that amount of money, and you're like, I could get in my Lambo right over to this
Right.
massage parlor and let these three
Or I
ladies
could train.
massage me down, or I could run for about 8 miles. I don't know. What am I going to do? Let me get in the Lambo. I mean, I could see it. It's got to be hard to stay hungry once you hit that level. Do you think, is that a common occurrence? Do you think once people hit a level, they begin to taper from there?
I think it depends on how ready you are for when it hits.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these fighters, come from, bad backgrounds. And
Right.
They
Right.
came from nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
And when they win a big fight, when they get a big purse, they're not ready for it. They
Right.
are completely, it's like people that win the lottery. The percentage of them.
Look at Tyson. Like he got screwed out all that money.
Yeah.
Well, for a long time, up until recent years, literally 80% of people in the NFL were bankrupt 5 years after leaving.
That's right.
That's a huge number. Now, the NFL understood the tide turned on that, and now they, as soon as these guys come into the league, they get them with financial advisors, try to get them set up. Not everybody listens.
Right.
Not everybody listens.
Well, and there's a little bit of an element, not to get deep in the weeds there, but yes, it's endemic with all sorts of professional athletes, and there are some of the larger team sports that have unions, but unfortunately it becomes a little bit of a dirty game that the financial advisor that they bring in to teach the NFL players. There's some stuff going on. Sometimes it's not quite
as pure as it should be.
It's better than nothing a lot of times, but I think there's some mixed mixed motivations.
I can see that. Well, I would hope that these guys are beginning to realize. I know you see them in the NFL retiring earlier and earlier now because they don't want to end up with CTE or things like that. They've made
$40
millions of dollars, and they're
yeah.
like, "Yeah, why do I want to keep getting hurt? I don't have to."
Yeah. And that bringing it back to your point about MMA versus boxing.
Yeah.
Your average boxing career is 3-4 times longer than
Well,
an
yeah.
average MMA career. And so the wear and tear on your body as an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're not being dropped to the ring,
Yeah.
having been putting,
Guillotines
holds
and everything else,
I mean,
man.
that is a lot on the body.
That's right.
Plus those leg kicks, man. I don't think I could
them
take
things are
one of
brutal,
those.
man.
Sometimes people see those kicks in the ring and they're like, "Oh, that doesn't sit." Man,
Man,
you
they're
don't
breaking them
understand,
down.
man.
It's brutal.
Joe Rogan, man, I'd be scared to death for that dude to kick
That
me.
dude has got a hell of a backspin kick, man.
Man, he's just got a power kick, Yeah, I wouldn't want to be kicked by him. I'll
No.
tell you that. Okay, all right. So again, tell people how they would contact you or get a hold of you for any services that tell them what else you offer so they know what more you do.
We've talked about this before. I am a person that I wind up doing a lot of different things. I have hands in a lot of different businesses.
Yes.
And a lot of things related to business consulting and running a lot
All
of
right,
different businesses.
let me help you out because you're way too nice. You're way too humble. Look, here's what the dude does. If you got a business, all right, and you maybe you're doing pretty good, but you don't know what you're really doing because you've never been there before, okay?
Right.
And that's a lot of small business owners. You got a great idea, you get in there, you start making money, and then what? And the then what is the problem. It's why a lot of businesses don't make it for the long haul because the then what isn't set up right.
Right.
So you've got to set your finances up right. You got to set your taxes up right. You got to do all these things. And then there's the promotional aspect. This is the guy that takes care of then what?
I wish I would have had
That's
you
what he does.
10 years ago, man.
Well, it's never too late, man.
It is never too late,
Yeah,
Chad.
no, I get it 1,000%. I'm just saying I've learned a lot teaching myself, and this is my 13th
Yes.
year. So I mean, I learned the hard way.
Yep.
It's been a hell of a lot easier to have somebody like you in my corner. Is what I'm saying, man.
Yeah, and I appreciate the kind words. Yes, if you run a business, you're successful. You're probably very successful at what you do. If you're a plumber, if you're an electrician,
Right.
if you're a realtor, if you're whatever. I'm the person that's really good at running businesses.
Yeah.
And so if you want to make sure that the IRS doesn't come knocking on your door,
Man,
you
that's
wanna
the
make
last
sure
knock
that-
you want.
That's right. That's my
Well,
job. is to
not
make
only
those-
that, but just having it all in order keeps everything in the business flowing so much better. You
Yep.
establish the right cash flow to make operations easiger.
Stress
You know,
is easier.
Yeah, get your payroll set up the right way. I mean, there's so many different variables, and
Yep.
so it's Pinnacle Advisors, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So Pinnacle Advisors, that's who you would look up
That's
and
right.
and go see this guy. If you've got a business and maybe you're still young in the business and you've got some loose ends you're chasing, because look, another reason is a lot of small businesses are, if they're not a one horse business, it may be a husband and wife or just a couple people. So if you're out doing all the business, how do you have time to come back and do everything else?
Right.
And so something's going to get shorted. And ultimately, when you're trying to make money, you're always going to prioritize going out and finding clients and dealing with that versus the back end. You got to deal with that back end. You got to set it up right.
Yep.
And if you do it, you're gonna have longevity and be better off. So
That's right.
reach out to him. Let him help you out. By the way, appreciate you coming in. I
Sure,
really
yeah.
do, man. I know that you can't stay the rest of the show, but I'm real thankful that you were able to come in today and hang out and update us on Carlos. When can we look forward to talking to him again?
So he'll be back here in a week, and we'll be doing the camp. So we'll find some time once he's here and working around his training schedule. This time slot is usually when he's up and running his 7-8 miles in the morning.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He'd always appreciate a break to be in here talking to you.
Yeah, I was going to say, I bet he would appreciate that. I know I would.
Absolutely.
Does Pinnacle Advisors have a website, by the way?
Yeah, pinnacleadvisor.net.
It's a Pinnacle Advisor or Advisors?
Singular.
Pinnacleadvisor.net.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Pinnacleadvisor.net. It's Victor. Get out to him today if you are looking to make your business better. Meanwhile, we'll continue to have him in talking combat sports and, learning about the journey of Carlos so we can all rally behind him and get a champion right out of Little Rock. That'll be awesome to have.
yeah.
All right, man. Let's do this and we will be back.
Have you been injured? You need an attorney with a passion for people and an obsession with justice. That attorney is Tim Reed in Little Rock. Look, they've won $1.3 million in wrongful death, almost $1 million in medical malpractice and in insurance dispute. These guys know what they're doing, but more importantly, he's not a figurehead of some kind. He's not just some person on a poster with a picture of a rig or a smile or his dog with him. This is a real guy you can text with, you can talk to, and who will take good care of you. He'll work with you personally to get what you deserve. Check out reedfirm.com, reedfirm.com, or give him a call, 777-7333.
All right. We'll be back I'm going to play a song. We'll be back in just a second.
Your words keep playing on a loop through my head. The price that I'm paying, well, the currency is dread. Thinking on what I heard, a question I'm trying to unwind. Digging through your words, how much truth will be mined? Paranoia is creeping in. A dirty fog that whispers. I'm hoping my demons don't win. Picking at my mental bliss. demons breaking in, the windows of my brain being busted. The doors are being kicked in, nothing in my head can be trusted. Paranoia is creeping in, a dirty fog that whispers. I'm hoping my demons don't win, picking at my mental blisters. I'm hoping my demons don't get wind.
He's Patrick, he's an angry SOB. Patrick, are you freaking kidding me? Patrick, right here on PATB. Suck it, man, this guy is really pissed. Angry Patrick.
Let's get to it, man. It's time to do the rant, baby. I know it's a
Yeah.
little bit late, but let's make magic. A trend is making a comeback thanks to Gen Z women. Men repeller outfits are back in a big way on social media. What are those exactly? Well, man repeller outfits are basically put together to avoid unwanted male attention and feature items not traditionally attractive. So it might include baggy, outfits, long skirts, big bulky glasses, That makes perfect sense, right? I mean, are you freaking kidding me? What's remotely new about this? Dressing in baggy clothing and bulky glasses is the official uniform of Pentecostals and lesbians since, the beginning of time. I mean, lesbians at the time of Jesus just wore a burlap sack with a chain wallet, except then it wasn't like some baby chain. It was a full-size chain that weighed about 25 pounds. That's why their thighs got so big and why they're so good at softball. Millennia of toting a full-size chain in a wallet that had another 8 pounds of coins. And no diss, but yeah, Pentecostal women with big blue jean long dresses, ridiculously long hair, and zero style are, yes, shockingly not a turn-on for men. But the bigger question is, why do you need to do that if you're not uber religious or a donut bumper?
Right.
This is 2025. Is your workplace the only one in America where guys are just randomly smacking asses, trying to bang you in the break room, cornering you up by the Coke machine, trying to launch their tongue to your stomach? Do you live in a neighborhood like the horniest construction workers in the world, just lined up by the sidewalk yelling, "Hey, lady meat, come over here and let me check out that dump truck"? Just chasing you down the street with their Johnsons in their hand and a Modelo in the other one. Come on, look, if you want to repel men, that's fine, but don't act like we're living in the 50s where men just do anything. That's why they invented HR. You want to repel a man? Just tell him you work in HR. That's all you need. Next up, a staggering number of individuals have confessed they wouldn't mind if their partner engaged with a sex robot, according to a survey. The Zip Health poll aimed to gauge the extent that people are open to AI playing a role in their sex lives. It highlighted the lengths which people are prepared to allow their partners to explore infidelity with a robot. In the survey, over a quarter of people were okay with their significant other having sex with a robot. Well, times are changing. Are you freaking kidding me? Talk about one extreme to the other. We go from ladies who think they're trapped in the past to women who are so good with the future, they're down to let their men hook up with a robot. And I know, yeah. Again, some of you are booed up with dudes who would hump a crease in a pillow, and so you're like, hell yeah, go bang that walking toaster, and then we'll watch Survivor. I get that. Or maybe your guy is always after that one thing you don't want to do. You know what I mean. When your guy's interested in that back acreage you have, that's a guy got a no trespassing sign on it, but he keeps trying to ask if he can put his oil well there. So yeah, but what I don't understand are the guys who are like, yeah, babe, I've got a headache, so why don't you go see R2 do you? Are you clinically insane? You see, for us guys, there's really only 3 options, and all of which are close to the same across the board. But for you idiot men, this won't be your girl just getting a quick O. Oh no, these robots are going to have multiple attachments that do a variety of things in various levels of suction power, and that's just the warm-up. Then R2-Do-You is going to grab the technically named rotisserie rocket rod. What it should be called is goodbye, because once he activates that special torse and twist mode, it's over, son. That thing's got 360-degree tornado action and actual GSPS. That's an acronym for Global G-Spot Positioning System. They don't need guidance. They don't need instructions. Did I mention it has a warming feature, lube dispenser, and a runtime of over 90 minutes at full speed? So yeah, you want to thin the herd, bring the human race down to about 50%? Go ahead, get your lady a sex robot. You're just financing your replacement. And finally, this is great. This is the best. A member of a state panel advising the director of Oregon's health authority on best practices and policies in mental health identifies as a turtle. That's right, J.D. Holt, who goes by J.D. Terrapin, is one of the consumers on the OHA Consumer Advisory Council. Their purpose is to advise the state's provision of mental health current practices. Our friend introduced himself with, hello, everybody, it's JD. I use they, them, and turtle for my pronouns. I'm in the Springfield, Eugene area, and I get to be part of the council. He said he has a gender connection to turtles and asked that everyone would respect. Well, I would respect that. I mean, are you freaking kidding me? Just when you think you've heard the dumbest thing of the day, here comes some tardvark version of turtle power. Do you think he yells that right before he sexes up his partner?
Turtle power.
Yeah, look, you amphibious asswipe. I'm never going to respect turtle as a pronoun. Now, damn it, if you're already trying to make me unbelieve everything I learned in biology, men can be women, women can be men. Maybe society says I have to say yes, ma'am, to a 6'5" muscled up handlebar mustache wearing lady. But every single one of you can absolutely buy a sex robot, put it on oil drilling mode, and sit right down on it if you think I'm going to acknowledge you as a freaking turtle. I'm barely able to convince myself to get down with the trans who aren't surgically swapped over. So until you walk up to me with web feet and a surgically installed hard shell on your back and a pair of nunchucks, I ain't calling you turtle nothing. I ain't going to feed you no lettuce. I'm not going to let you root around my garden bed until you've actually lived on an actual turtle diet of leaves and bugs for a year. Don't waste my time. But once you've had your shell put on, your feet webbed up, and your breath is ripe with beetles and pine needles, yeah, I'll treat you like a turtle, which means I'll abduct you, paint my name on your shell, and put you in a cardboard box with holes in it for air circulation before dropping you in a large terrarium. That's the life of a damn turtle, okay? Is that what you want? Or are you just a man baby who thought the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were cool? Look, go to cosplay and let us adults get to work and do things without pretending you're a dumbass animal that dies crossing the street. That's it for that. All right, man. Let's move on to something else.
That turtle dude. Oh
Man, that's crazy, man.
That is wild.
Come on, are you serious? I'm not calling anybody a turtle. I'm not ever going to do that, bro. Don't ever try to come to me and ask me to call you a turtle. No, that's not going to happen, bro. It's never, ever in any universe going to happen.
That gives me my PTSD about getting my ass whooped by Michelangelo.
Yeah, right? Right? Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, let's talk about a couple other things that I got pulled up here that I think you'll be very interested in. Is there a right time in life to settle down? Tie a knot, start a family? Well, everybody has their own timeline. The Pew Research Center asked adults in 18, mostly middle-income countries, what they think the best age to reach these milestones in life are. There are countries all over. The median age 31. A lot of people around the world agree about time frames. On average, in all the countries surveyed, people said the best time to get married and have a first kid is 26 years old.
That's pretty close to mine.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think about 30.
That's yeah. I was,
29,
I was
30.
between 26 and 30. I can't remember exactly
Yeah.
what I was.
I was 30 when I had my first kid, when Noah was born.
Get all that stuff you need to get out. A lot of that stuff you need to get out in your 20s. Like I don't feel like I was at. I wouldn't have been.
No,
I
you
wouldn't-
got to run that out
Yeah,
first.
you got to get some of that stuff out.
No,
of it.
you got to get all the wild
Yeah,
out of you before
yeah,
you start doing
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
Respondents worldwide said the best age to buy a home is just around 30. On average, Americans say 29, but that's pretty
I
close.
wish I could have my stuff together at 29 to start.
I know that's right,
That's
man.
awesome.
That is awesome. I did. I just sold a house to a young lady who's 22, bro.
That's
Isn't that
freaking-
wild?
That's amazing, man.
She bought a house at 22. I was like, you know what? Mad respect to you.
My son fixed me hollering at you, and he's like 23.
Yeah, hell yeah. Have him holler. You know I got him. When it comes to the best age for retirement, the average, 58, they say. Who's retiring at 58?
I wish.
Ain't nobody retiring here at 58 unless you get injured.
Right.
Much lower for Colombians. They say 52. Nigerians say 63.
Colombia's got all that booger sugar money.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I'm surprised they ever retire.
Right.
You know, they're worked up. They're ready to rock.
They're ready, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe in Colombia, you know, cocaine it gets old. It's like,
Well,
yeah, man.
They chew on the leaves, like the
Yeah,
before
the
they
coca
break
leaf.
it. Yeah, and it like numbs their mouth. But I don't know if they get the.
Maybe some of it, but not
Not-
the refined
No,
version.
man.
No, no, it's not like that, man. So what age did y'all get your first house, man? Do you know? Do you remember?
Probably about 27, 28. About
Yeah.
the same time I had my sons when we had our first. I
Okay, all right. Now, how's your oldest now?
think he's, man, you're gonna put me on the spot. I think he's 22 right now.
Wow. Yeah, my youngest is 22. Let me mention very quickly, if you are looking for a vehicle, why don't you head over to Fitz Auto and check those guys out? I've had a loaner vehicle this week. I had a little work done on mine, and they were kind enough to help me out. Driving a little Mazda 3 Sky Active. And if you're looking for a car that gets like 35, 38 miles a
Man.
gallon, man, this is a good time to have something like that.
Yes.
And they've got a lot of vehicles that are really good on gas. Now, of course, they have the big SUVs and sports cars and everything. But if you're looking for that, check them out. 8421 Stagecoach Road in Little Rock or online at fitzauto.com.
They got a ride that'll fit you.
They do have
That
a
new
ride.
little logo I
Yeah,
seen
that's
on
right.
the TV the other day. I was
Did
like,
they?
that's kind of cool, man. They'll fit
I think
you.
they got that from me. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that came from me.
I seen it on TV the other day. I was
That's
like,
great.
What's up, man?
No, that's great, man. Also, if you're looking for a beer today at lunch, why don't you go to Stone's Throw? Man, he's got good beers, 14 of them on tap, 402 East 9th Street. You can do it inside or on the patio. They got Slater's Alaskan Dumplings doing food. Get over there. As a matter of fact, today will be New Brew Friday, and if you go in and tell them you heard it on the show, you'll get 10% off.
New brew.
New Brew Friday.
Bring your new boo and get you a new brew.
Yeah. That's right. New brew. I like that. That's great, man. That's great. Okay. Let's see what we want to get to now. I got a few things. Okay. Yeah. This is interesting because I just bring this up because you always hear the people say, "No, this never happens."
Uh-oh.
But I would be pissed off as a parent. You tell me how you would feel. The same Oregon high school that came under fire last year for allowing a trans athlete to compete against girls continues to blow the competition away a year later. Ada Gallagher, running as a 10th grader at McDaniel High School in Portland, finished first place in 200 and 400 meters during the 6A Portland Interscholastic League Championship. Now as an 11th grader, back on track, just blew away yet another record. Finished at 57.62 in the 400. It just dominated. The next closest, Kennelly, who's a girl, came in at 105.72.
That makes about as much sense as me saying I identify as an 8-year-old and I want to play AAU tournaments.
Yeah, that's right. I want to play Little League ball. Yeah, hello, my name's Nolan Ryan. I'd like to play Little League. I
Right.
identify as a
Yeah,
9-year-old.
I identify as a 9-year-old. I'm
No,
starting over.
What would piss me off as a parent is
Man.
that's my daughter that came in second, who could have been first.
What if she could have got like scholarships and you just screwed her out?
Well,
all
that's
that,
what I'm
man?
saying.
Yeah,
You're
like,
screwing her out of scholarships in my
That's
mind.
not cool, man.
No, I don't. I don't like that at all.
No, I don't
I
think
just
that's
think it's
right.
unfair in every possible way.
Yes, every single way.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, here's an interesting story. NASA astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams are back on Earth on Tuesday.
About time.
Yeah, they lived in space a little longer than expected, 9 months.
It was like 9 days, wasn't it? But they're supposed to be at there.
Right, something like that.
Insane, man.
The SpaceX Dragon spacecraft landed in the Gulf of America near Tallahassee,
You
Florida,
love saying that.
with the SpaceX crew quickly recovering them and the capsule safe and sound. Now, so here's what you might be interested in knowing. They both notched 286 days in space. That's way longer than the 1 week they were supposed to spend.
Insane.
All right? So you wonder how much do they make in that time? Do they have extra pay coming? When NASA astronauts are aboard the International Space Station, they get regular 40-week work salaries. They don't get overtime or holiday or weekend pay.
It's insane.
So a NASA astronaut salaries were over $152,000 last year, according to their webpage. They're also on long-term TDY, and they get incidentals for each day they're in space. So they get $5 a day for expenses in space.
Think they get it to the aliens?
Yeah, man. Listen, you're gonna tell me I'm not gonna get any overtime pay if I'm supposed to be
sleeping
there
in
a
that
week
thing,
and I'm
man.
there 186 days?
Man, you're gonna do something, man.
No, you're gonna give me some overtime, man, or
Don't
I'm
pay
going to work
taxes for a
somewhere else.
year or something. You gotta cut me some kind of deal with the government, man.
Yeah, I'm be like, listen, NASA, I'm going to go to work for Elon over here and get better pay if this is the way you're going to treat me after 9 months.
Yeah, we'll be flying the Falcon.
No doubt, man. That's. I would have thought surely they get some kind of special pay for being up
Man.
there that long.
Man.
Can you imagine
sad,
that? You're
man.
supposed to be gone a week and you end up there like 9 months.
Not only that, you almost blow like you're in. At the end of the day, they strapped you to a rocket and shot you in there. Like, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? That's got to have some hazard pay to it or something.
It seems like it should, doesn't it? 152,000 doesn't seem nearly enough to be an
man.
astronaut.
No.
I mean, I'm saying, hey, at least, $250 to be an astronaut, go to space, right?
They should treat them a little bit like I'm thinking at least $500,000 a year salary.
You think $500,000?
If you're doing that kind of stuff, like if you're going out and you're trying to further us as a people and go out there and search space, yeah, I think you need $500,000 a year. You're leaving your family, everything else.
Yeah, definitely.
need
And
a
you may
bonus.
never come back.
Yeah.
You may never come
We all
back.
sat there and watched that happen when we were in elementary school. That school teacher got blown up. Remember the Challenger?
Oh,
We're
yeah,
all
yeah,
pushing
of
the
course.
television. They're like, well, we're going to watch this teacher go up. And it's like,
Yeah, Krista
right
McAuliffe
there in
was
front
her
of
name.
all of us.
Yeah, Krista McAuliffe. That was one of those surreal moments
Man,
as
that
a
was
country right
man,
there.
it was wild. I just remember the teacher and it just being quiet. Like, nobody knew what to say or anything. It was
Man, that was just so mind-boggling.
Man, because it was like they were like cheering, like we're gonna watch this teacher,
Yeah.
and they're like pushing in the TVs back in the day on the rolling thing.
Yeah, yeah, and
Turn it on, and then the teacher blows up. Like,
Yeah,
what
no,
do you
it was
do,
like,
man?
yeah. It went from over-the-top triumph to
Yeah,
the worst of the worst
real
tragedy.
quick, man.
Yeah, no, it's 0 to 100 real fast. Let's see what the people are saying. Let's see. Kristen said, I bought my first house at 18.
Yes, she was married before we met.
Wow, but at 18, that's impressive.
That is, yeah.
I got to give it to your girl. That's a record. I hadn't
yeah,
heard anything better than that.
She got in on all them things that you're talking about, like the first time buyer.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like she had all kinds of little things like that. I remember because when we bought ours, she was schooling me on, hey, we can try to do this and this and this, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Latasha said, I'm so behind in life. Not really.
No, man.
Don't take what they say the numbers should be and take that any other
No,
way.
man.
Let me just tell you something, Tasha. I've been bankrupt twice in my life. I have, lost careers before.
Man, yes.
Not by choice or not being fired, just because the job ended.
And not knowing what you was going to do after that career.
I've had that happen three
Yeah,
different
man.
times.
It sucks.
It does suck, I bought a house, sold a house, regretted selling the house. We'll buy another house. That's just how it is. Don't Don't fall for any of that
No,
stuff
man.
that you got to be anywhere at a certain time.
Nope.
You don't, and don't
Nope.
be down on yourself either.
No, hell no.
Please don't, because it's just not worth it to be down on yourself.
No, man.
Everybody progresses how they do.
Yes, yes, yes.
Good morning. I'm finally at home. It's Wendy, our truck driver. She's back.
I bet she's glad to be not. She didn't get flipped over, man. I thought I was gonna get flipped over a couple times. I can only imagine a diesel.
Oh,
truck
in the
that-
wind?
Man, it was like
It was
50 miles
crazy,
an hour.
wasn't it?
Blew the doors open at the shop like twice, and that never happened.
Okay, I will admit this.
Uh-oh.
In that small car, that Mazda 3,
Man, you were all over the damn place.
bro, I got blown halfway into the other lane
You
once.
look like a little cue ball in that thing, man.
Well,
like, I can
it's-
only
it's
imagine,
small,
man.
you know, it's
Yeah,
small.
Like, I can imagine on the interstate.
It's
just-
cool, but it's small.
Yeah,
You know what I
but
mean?
I
So
can just imagine that thing just bouncing around. the whole
yeah,
way.
no, that wind kind you're like, oh, wait a minute, I don't got enough weight.
Yeah.
Sean said, "Happy Friday. Hope
Happy,
everyone's
happy
good
Friday.
today." Thank you, man. Morning, my ordained pastor, Pat. I'm not a pastor, but I am an
He can't get you
officiant.
married.
I can get you married, but that's funny. I could be a pastor, but I thought about it so many times when I was younger, and I just realized, man, you got to know what your limitations are. I didn't become a politician because I was afraid I'd become corrupt.
There you go.
Same reason I don't
Oh,
believe
man.
that I could, as a preacher, I just don't walk a good enough line to tell everybody else to walk a good line.
I'm with you on the whole politics.
know?
I would be so corrupt, and I hate to say it.
I don't want to say that. I'm just saying you get up there around all that money and the influence and power. And
yeah.
It's like, I don't want that. Get that away from
Yeah,
me.
I need to stay clear of
The
that.
microphone's the most power I ever need to have in my whole life. Anything past that, I'm in. No. Rich taking more. What's up, Rich?
What up?
She said, I'm 35 and haven't bought a house. I don't think you will be able to.
You think
will.
found the right setup?
You will. You'll be able to. Just don't beat yourself up. And 35 is not that late.
No.
I didn't buy my first house until I was 50.
There you go.
So how about that? I leased homes until then. So, yeah, you're not late to any party. You're going to be just fine. Let's see what else is going on here from the people. Kristen said he's 24, by the way.
Oh, see,
Landon's 24, yeah. Yeah, he was off just a
I
little
always
bit. You
try
know,
to kick it down because I don't like being that old, man.
you know he's not great with math. Come on, man. It's Chad. Don't hold him accountable for math, Kristen. He tried to do it very quick, you know. And a lot of people actually, I've got an article today. A lot of people have math anxiety.
Man, I do.
Would you say that you have math anxiety?
Yeah, I don't like being on the spot. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm sitting there and I'm doing it by myself, but I don't like somebody standing in front of me. And
Yeah,
have
the
to-
pressure.
Yeah, I don't like that. I've never been like, yeah.
Yeah, does the thought of having to do a math problem leave you in knots? You're in good company. 64% of people in America experience math anxiety. Common Core creates a lot of that,
Right.
you dumbasses.
Yeah, man, get up on the board and fill out this equation, and everybody's staring at you. And,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't like that.
13% rate their symptoms as severe. It doesn't end when they graduate. It can create barriers in life, but middle school, the most common time people start to feel math anxiety. Yeah, because it starts to get harder.
Well, they put you on that blackboard.
Yeah.
Fill this out.
Yeah, now that is a lot of pressure.
No.
Women get math anxiety more than men, 70 to 57%. What triggers it? Well, being afraid of failing, number one. Not understanding, number two. That was it for me. It was the not understanding of it. Now, I'm good with business math.
Yeah, fractions and all that.
Yeah, but once I can do that stuff. But, you start getting into the algebra and geometry, and it's a real struggle for me,
Yeah. I didn't make it past this is sad. I didn't make it past applied math.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, but you made it.
I didn't have no kind of algebra, pre-algebra.
I wish I hadn't.
I've never even done a pre-algebra equation.
I didn't want to. You were lucky, honestly.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were. You never felt that stress.
No, I didn't feel the stress.
I failed algebra the first time and passed it the second, but I had a girlfriend, is why I failed it the first time. She sat right behind me, and I was way more interested in her.
Yeah, right.
But I was just telling somebody yesterday that the only time I've ever had any kind of argument with my son's teacher, any of them in his whole careers, either of them, was about math. because they switched over to Common Core. And so my son had come home. He brought a test home, and he said, and he failed it, and that wasn't like him. You know, he didn't fail test. And so I said, let me see this test. And I look at it, and I'm like, well, hold on. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. So I'm perplexed. And so I asked for a meeting with the teacher, you know, and I go up there, and me and Laura. And so I'm like, I'm looking at this test, and he got an F. But I checked all these problems, and the answers are correct. She said, right, but he carried the numbers, and we don't do that anymore. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't carry the number
Was
anymore?
the
What are you
number
talking
at the
about?
bottom right?
You know how you carry the one?
No, I know, but it was at the bottom number right.
Yes.
So that's all that.
That was my.
That's math to
That
me.
was my argument.
That's math.
She was like, I was like, why? What is the problem with carrying the one? She goes, well, they can't see. You have to show how it. You don't know how you got there. So what difference does it
So
make?
he didn't show his work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't show your work when you carry the same way as they want you to do it the other way. And I'm like, that's stupid. First of all, I don't know how oxygen works, but I know it does.
Yeah.
I breathe, right?
Can't
I don't
see it.
see it, but it's there every day for me.
Right.
I don't know why carrying the one works, but God damn it, it does.
Works.
Every single time, without fail. So you just want to add a step to add a. He got all the right answers, and you gave him an F.
No.
And I was mad. Finally,
Yeah.
Laura goes, you got to stop, babe. I was like, fine, whatever, you know, but I was pissed off about it.
I would have been
But
too,
they
man.
quit sending homework home because they said parents can't help them. And that's why, because they do dumb shit.
Yeah.
You want to know why we struggle in
Yeah,
math?
yeah.
You can't carry the one.
Yeah.
That made it a lot easier. Now you're making it
You're
harder.
making like the parents look like a dumbass, like we can't do it.
Right. Well, now I still get the right answer because I use the magical one carrying.
Right.
You know, it's magical, man.
God,
Jesus, right?
these teachers.
I know. Let's see. More than a third say it interferes with their ability to make smart financial decisions like budgeting and investing.
But yeah, you got to be able to add that stuff to know what to add and subtract.
Well, not only that, if you don't understand how the interest works and all those different things, it's really overwhelming. You know, it's like people don't understand buying a house, man. The crazy thing about it is if you buy a house, say for $300,000, right? When you're done, you're going to spend $500,000-$600,000 on that house. That's how the math works.
Right.
You know, that's just the way the interest works. It's a lot of interest.
Right.
But they don't tell you when you buy the house, you're going to pay $600,000. No, you bought a $250,000, $300,000 house with interest rate.
Right.
You know, and this is your payment. Here's your total of payments. Right.
Here's this right here for you.
Actually, in closing, they do go over all of that, but it's still, you're looking at it going,
sucks. Yeah.
that's a lot of
That's
zeros.
anxiety right there.
That's
man.
a lot of zeros, isn't it? For parents with math anxiety, having kids who need help is challenging. A quarter feel unprepared to help, 10 get anxious. I'll tell you what we did. We put, Tyler struggled initially with math, and we put him on a website. I'm trying to remember what the name of it is. Oh my God, it's such a great, khanacademy.com. K-A-H-N, Khan Academy. If you have someone, whether it's you or your kid that struggles with math, go to Khan Academy, look it up online. It's absolutely free.
That's
and it will
awesome.
absolutely change your math life. The instructors on there use very good real world examples. They go through it. It's videos. They show you how to do the problem, walk you through it.
Your math.
Yeah, they walk you through the problem. Then after they're done, you take the little, do the little thing after to see if you got it. And if not, you go back and you do it until you get it, And it's they also have games on there for younger kids. They're like a video game, but it's math.
Right.
And so that's good for the kids who are, let's say, under 10 and don't have a good attention span.
Right.
And that's how he was. He was like 7 years old, 8 years old. That's when his math issues began, Let's see. For these mom and dads, they find creative solutions like trying to help despite anxiety, calling another family member, using apps or tools, and directing kids to online resources. 40% of Americans go to YouTube when they hit a math wall. Yeah, I really suggest Khan Academy unless you can do something with AI.
Let's just say Chat GP or whatever that stuff is.
Yeah, Chat GPT. Yeah, you might, that may be helpful too. I mean, I'm just now starting to mess with AI. I got Grok, Grok, yesterday, and I'm trying to see just how much you can do with it because it's pretty amazing what you
wild,
can
man.
ask it to spit out.
Yeah.
Like you could go in to Grok and you just type in spit out a startup business plan for a lawn mowing service. And it will absolutely spit out, a 6, 8, 10-page plan.
Yeah. It's
You
scary,
know,
man.
and a good one at that. You can set up. Let's say that you were having struggles with your significant other, right? You can go in there and go create a therapy plan for communication for couples, and it'll just.
I don't know if I trust that.
Man, I'm telling you, it's. I'm not telling you got to trust it, but I'm saying look at
yeah.
what it prints out. I've seen both of those things recently, and I was blown away by just how good they were, man.
Yeah, it's scary shit, man.
It is, but it's cool. I mean, I'm having fun making songs.
You're doing awesome.
Well, I don't know about awesome, but I'm damn sure having fun, All right, well, Chad, what's going on at Piercings by Chad today and tomorrow?
Pearsons.
More piercings
Trying
and
to
more piercings.
Get in that tax money still, man.
Yeah, okay.
Rolling.
So what's you got any specials right now?
We're running $5 off during the whole tax season right now.
$5
$5
off during
off
the
your
tax
bonus
season.
holes.
Yeah, get those bonus holes,
see me.
$5 off.
1008 East Oak, Suite 104 in Conway.
All right. And listen, if you're looking for a house, I can help you. Matter of fact, let me tell you, here's a really interesting thing that just happened, okay? And this is why, look, you can get AI, be your agent. You can go out and get yourself a cheap agent. One of these $1,000 agents. They say, well, I'll help you buy a house for $1,000. My suggestion is run like hell.
Is that a real thing? I'm not trying to interrupt you, but is that a real thing? Like, is there AI agents out there like Southern Real Estate?
No, but they're testing them out right now.
Kind of scary, man.
It is, to some people it is, but I'm going to tell you exactly why AI can't always help. Because here's what happened. Had a house, a very nice house. This house was $430,000. So it's a pretty damn nice house, okay? Very big house, 2-story house. And the couple, they're from Texas, and they're moving here. And really super nice people, We had already negotiated everything. Everything had gone swimmingly through the process, no problems, no hurdles, no real issues. So what you do before you close, you do a final walkthrough, okay? That final walkthrough to make sure that everything looks the way you expect, that they haven't taken things they weren't supposed to, there's just nothing that's going to get you, right? And so when we showed up for the final walkthrough at 9 o'clock, and closing is at 2, okay? The first thing we see is there's an active leak happening. And the way we saw it is at the crawl space, water's coming down the crawl space. And we're like, oh my God, man, what's going on here? So we go look to see if there's water on anywhere. There's no water on. Nothing's turned on really. So now we got a problem because we're supposed to be closing, and they're not going to close. They're not going to accept that.
No.
You're not going to go, yeah, I'm getting ready to go sign on the dotted line and pay $430,000 while there's a leak happening that's out of control.
That ain't happening.
No. So I had to push pause. I had to immediately get into action, call contractors to come over, take a look at it, find out what the problem was. Then once we found out what the problem was, and the problem was the dishwasher supply line had busted. So the hot water line. So you would think, well, that's pretty minor, right? Well, it kind of, but not. Because that supply line had leaked enough that the floor below it was rotting. So we had to replace that. The sheetrock behind it had mold on it. So did the cabinets. And then where the water's gone down underneath, it got the insulation wet and all that. So all of a sudden, what seemed simple is $3,500. right? 3,500. Now, we had to negotiate, and go back and forth and back and forth. And in all honesty, the seller did not want to pay that much.
Well,
And I understand where you're going to go.
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no, it's on you. But he's like, well, I'm not sure that's a good deal. And I'm like, well, you can go find your own contractor. But here's what I'm going to tell you is that right now that damage is contained under the dishwasher, but it's not far from the tile and it's still spreading. So if you don't stop it within 24 hours, you're going to replace the tile floor too. So you're going to have to make a call what you
Yep.
want to do. And so lo and behold, they scratched the client a $3,500 check. But that's something your AI can't do for you.
No.
It can't cover you and protect
Be
you.
like, I don't
and
know what
make
to
sure.
do.
Yeah. No, and that's why it's important to have a good agent who
Yeah.
knows what to do for
When
you.
real world stuff happens, you want a real world
No,
person.
my people my buyers were so happy that we caught that and we
Yeah.
were able to deal with it before closing. And we did end up closing at 4. We had to push it 2 hours to negotiate that out.
AI wouldn't make that happen.
No, it would not make it happen. So if you're looking for a realtor, please, give me a call. I'll be glad to help you out. I'll get you connected with my buddy Josh. He just helped one of my couples get into a home. Matter of fact, the last couple before this one, Josh helped get into that home and did a great job for him. He's got all kinds of grants up to $9,000. He's with First Horizon, and I'll get you connected with him. We'll find out where you're at. If you're not quite ready to buy a home, we'll give you a roadmap that tells you exactly what steps to take. I mean, exactly what steps. Get this credit card, do this,
Right.
do this, do this. It's very specific. So if you are a person intimidated by, oh, how do I even deal with this? That's what Josh is great at doing. He'll lay it out for you step by step so you know the exact recipe to success. And that is a great recipe to have in your life.
Yes.
I promise you. So if you need me, holler at me, 501-575-5485. And we're out, y'all.
Peace.
Wait.